Hey everyone, today I'll show you how to build a simple to-do app in Next.js, powered by Supabase, Prisma ORM, and full server-side rendering. First, open Visual Studio Code, run the command npx create next app dot. That dot makes sure the app is created in your current directory. Next, we'll set up Tailwind CSS, enable the app router, and more. So stick around, let's build this step by step. Let's test if our app is working by typing npm run dev. This will start your web app on localhost 3000, and you can see that our Next.js app is running perfectly. Now let's move on and install the Shadcn UI library. To install it, go to the Shadcn official website, copy the init command, and run it inside your project. We'll stick with the default settings provided by Shadcn. After that, we need to install the components, and to simplify things, I will install every single component from the library. For that, copy the add command, remove the word button, and press enter. This will show a list of available components. Just press A to select all, and then press enter again, and you'll see that all the components are installed neatly inside the app folder. Now let's install the Prisma client. For that, type in the following command. The auth Prisma adapter is optional and will be used in future videos. Then we will install the Prisma library using the following command. Next, let's create a prisma.ts file inside our app directory, and inside that file paste the following code as shown. Now let's create a Supabase project for the database. For that, go to your Supabase console, give a suitable project name and password, select the region, and click Create New Project. Once it's created, click on the Connect button, select the ORMs tab, make sure Prisma is selected in the drop-down. Copy the contents of the env local file. Next, let's initialize Prisma in our project by typing npx prisma init. This will create a Prisma schema along with an env file inside your root folder. Paste the copied file contents into the env file, and make sure to edit the database URL with your original password, the one you used while creating the Supabase project. Finally, let's copy the schema file and paste it as it is. You can remove the output parameters if you don't need them. Now let's create a simple schema with an ID, a title, and a description. Then we'll push this schema into our database by typing npx prisma migrate dev-n-init1. This will push the schema under the name init1 for development. Once that's done, go to the Database tab on your Supabase console, and you'll see your schema along with the migration schema. Perfect. Now let's start editing our page.txs file. We'll create a div with the given class name, and inside it we'll create another one to display the logo. You can modify this page however you like. What really matters is how it fetches the data from the server. Next, let's create a component inside the Components folder, and we'll name it newListViewButton.tx.s. This file will contain the dialog and the server component to create a new list. Create a dialog tag using the Shadcn UI library, and inside the dialog content we'll add a form. Inside the form, we'll place an input for the title, a text area for the description, and a submit button. Then we'll edit the form so it calls an action named create task when the form is submitted. Now let's build that function to make everything work. Create an async function named create task with form data as the parameter. Then specify that the function must run strictly on the server, even though the entire function compiles there by default. Next, capture the title and description from the form data and store them in variables. After that, use Prisma to add a new task into the to-do model with the provided code. Finally, revalidate the root path so the cache updates, and the new task shows up on the page instantly, without needing a manual refresh. Now let's call the component inside our page.tx file. We'll also create a div for displaying the tasks, and we'll use Prisma to fetch the tasks directly from the database. For the types, we'll create a new types.ts file inside the lib folder with the following interface type. We'll then specify that Prisma FindMany returns an array of that interface we defined earlier. Next, let's build a simple UI that displays the ID and the title of each task, just for debugging. Since there are no tasks currently in the database, it will show no results. Let's go ahead and create a task using the Create button, and you'll see a new task appear instantly on the page. Now let's modify this view so the task can be updated or deleted. For that, create a new component named listview.tsx inside the components folder. Inside it, we'll create a dialog for updating the task and add a form tag. Same as before, we'll include an input for the title, a text area for the description, and a submit button. We'll then add another form specifically for deleting the task. Next, we'll edit the update form so it calls the action edit todo. Then we'll create a new async function, just like before, to store the updated data in variables. After that, we'll use Prisma to update the task with the appropriate ID, and then revalidate the path so the changes show up immediately. Similarly, for the delete task form, we'll call a function of the same format, and then use Prisma again to delete the task with the appropriate task ID. We will now call the list view component, replacing the old view and passing the key and parameters. We'll wrap the entire card content of the list view inside a div with the given class name. Now let's start testing it. We can try creating one more task, and as you can see, the new task updates instantly without refreshing the page. We can also delete task 1, and it disappears instantly. Then we can update task 2, and the changes show up immediately on the page. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to see more developer content.